actually just started back up for me, and I decided that I would make a video on how to survive college. And not just college, I mean it can probably be for any kind of school. This is just kind of general advice for what to do during the school year. Number 1, dress for yourself. Do not dress to impress other people because their opinions don't matter, especially in college. No one cares. What I mean by that is I basically have about 3 different kinds of outfits that all kind of overlap sometimes. And they are, number 1, cute and sweet. Number 2, comfy. And number 3, nerdy. And yeah, sometimes they get mixed up into each other, but that's okay, it doesn't matter. And no one in college really cares what you're wearing. There's no point in dressing to impress or whatever. It doesn't matter in college. It might in other types of schools, but really where I go to college in particular, nobody cares, so there's no point. Number 2, remember to eat. I live away from my family down in college, and sometimes I have a bad habit of forgetting to have breakfast or lunch or even dinner just because I don't feel like I'm hungry. And then later I hear my stomach growl really loudly, and I just have to take a second to think to myself, oh yeah, you forgot to eat again, didn't you? So make sure to remember to eat. And if you can eat healthy, then please try to. I forget a lot, so I'm not really practicing what I preach, but it actually does help when you eat well. Number 3, take a sanity class. What I mean by that is take a class that makes you happy and gives you a little break from the stress of your normal day-to-day courses so that you're not just going crazy studying all the time. For me this semester, I am taking an American social dance class, and right now we're learning the foxtrot, and then we're going to learn waltz and cha-cha and triple swing. And it depends on you for what your class is. Maybe your college offers Zumba or creative writing or art. Just take something that will make you happy and feel better. Number 4, always remember to study. If you were like me in high school, or whatever its equivalent is in your country, and you never had to study, that doesn't matter. You're gonna need to study in college, so do it. Usually I don't have to learn the hard way, but this was a lesson that I did have to learn, and it kind of hurt, and I had a breakdown because of it. So don't forget to study. Number 5, and this is related to number 4, do not get behind in your coursework. If you get behind in your coursework, you are going to be behind for the entire rest of the semester. Or the year, depending on how your school system works. And if you get behind in your coursework, you're probably going to get overwhelmed and stressed, and it is just really not worth it for that to happen, so stay on top of your homework, please. Number 6. This is a 6 in American Sign Language, which is what I'm currently majoring in, so I'm not saying number 6 and holding up a 3. Reward yourself. Did you actually pass that test you thought you were going to fail? Go get some ice cream. It will help your own mind to give yourself some sort of reward for doing something well. Because we all kind of punish ourselves when we do something badly. So if something goes right, make sure you reward yourself for it. Number 7, parties. I had an actual school advisor tell my class of about 150, mostly freshmen, not me, I'm a sophomore, that you can always retake a class, but you can never retake a party. And while that may be true, don't party too hard. Because retaking classes is just a waste of your time and your money, and it's just a wasted opportunity. And at least in America, there is this culture of partying during college. So I can't stop you from going to parties and being young and crazy, but I can advise you to not do it so hard that you end up like severely ill, because then you're wasting an opportunity to further your education. Number 8, and really this should probably be number 1, do not be afraid to ask your professors questions, or even your teachers if you're not in college. College professors are experts in their field, which means that if they worked in the private sector, they would make a lot more money than they do teaching college. But they teach because they want to help other kids learn and further their own education. So they will be open to answering your questions and helping you out. For the most part. There's always an exception, right? And it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. If you ask a lot of questions, you're going to get answers. And do not be afraid to ask for help. Not everyone is an expert at everything the first time they try it. So please, I implore you, to ask your professors questions. Number 9, don't be afraid to get involved with stuff. If you want to participate in clubs, you are 100% welcome to do so and probably encouraged. Even if you don't, find ways to make new friends and meet new people. Don't do what I did my first year of college and just sequester yourself in your room and act like the outside world doesn't exist. There are so many ways for you to get involved at colleges and even just normal schools that you really should take those opportunities just so that you can meet new people. Because unfortunately, at least in America, the society we live in, it doesn't matter what you know, it matters who you know. Maybe your best friend from college becomes the CEO of some really great company that they end up wanting you to work for because they knew you in college and they know you're good at what you do. So make new friends as much as you can. I basically went to college by myself. There were some other people from my high school too, but we didn't hang out. So I was just kind of thrown into the deep end of this new environment with kind of no idea what to do and not knowing anyone really there. So that's why I hid myself in my room, because I didn't know anybody. And I was kind of scared of making new friends. Please don't do that. Make new friends and meet new people because it will be to your benefit. Number 10, find ways to cope with your stress. I have been writing stories since the 3rd grade, so that's one of my ways. My other way of coping with stress and anxiety is actually knitting. I started this scarf a week ago, and maybe that's not the most impressive for a week's worth of work, but keeping your hands moving is a great way to calm down and de-stress. And whatever it is that you do, like a coloring book or crochet or something, anything that you enjoy that keeps your hands busy will help you feel better. Number 11, reminders. There are a bunch of different ways to remind yourself to do something that is required for a class or a club or something. Ones that I typically use are setting a reminder in my phone, which I think is something a lot of people do. And another way that I remind myself is one that my mom actually taught me. And this one's actually pretty useful. If you have a piece of jewelry that you wear all the time, like a watch or elastics, hair ties, whatever, or a ring, put it somewhere else so that when you look back down at it, you realize, oh, why is this somewhere else? Because I have to do something. For example, if I need to pay my rent, read my emails, or check my grades, I will take my ring and put it on the other hand, on a finger that it fits on. Because I am so used to my ring being here that when it's somewhere else, I get confused and then I have to remember that there was something to do. And setting a reminder in your phone works just fine and is probably a little more detailed than having to look down at your hand like, why is my jewelry over here instead of over here? But it is helpful. Number 12, if you are stressed about something or feel like you need to, there is no shame in going to see a therapist or a psychiatrist. Society has this weird stigma on mental health that they feel like it's some sort of bad thing. But this past January, I actually had a meltdown when I realized that I kind of have social anxiety. And I've never been properly diagnosed with it, but I do know that social situations give me a lot more stress than probably most people. And so this past January, I had a bit of a breakdown, and because of that, I started to see a therapist. And I only went a couple of times before I actually started feeling a lot better. So if you feel like that would help you, there is no shame in going to see a counselor for your mind. Because if you had a problem with your stomach, or your liver, or your lung, or your heart, you would go to a doctor, right? Your brain is an organ just like any of the others, and it deserves to be taken care of too. Probably even more so than your other organs, since this runs everything. So please, if you feel like you need to, and you have the means to, go and see someone to make sure your mind is as healthy as the rest of you. Because I can almost promise that it will help you. Number 13, go see academic advisors too, because they are also there to help you. It can be really hard to navigate through prerequisites and other courses and things required for your degree, and the academic advisors are literally employed to help you. Academic advisors probably know how to operate those super user-unfriendly student portals better than you do, so I suggest that you actually let them show you how, because it's hard. Number 14, if you are like me and don't have a car down at college and you walk a lot, Please wear good shoes. Wear shoes that you can easily walk in and will not give you 800,000 blisters. Because yesterday I wore a pair of shoes that weren't particularly good for walking in, and I now have a fairly big blister on the side of my left foot's smallest toe. And it hurts. And number 15, make sure to have some fun, because you can't just study all the time. Because pulling all-nighters in order to study for finals may seem like a good idea at the time, but when you're sleep deprived and you can't concentrate during the test, that's not very good. And having some fun will make you feel better, I can almost guarantee that. Have a dance party. Do karaoke with your roommates. Go to your apartment complex's little get-togethers that have crazy things. Just make sure you have some fun, because that is part of growing up and going to college. And if you don't have some fun in college, you're probably going to look back and regret it. Yeah, I could probably say more about how to survive college, but I feel like 15 is a good number. And this video is really long and it's going to take me ages to edit. So I hope you all enjoyed this small detour from my usual dream stories. And I decided that I really hate those end bits of videos where it's like, click subscribe, blah blah blah. If you couldn't tell from my attitude on the last video or the video before that during this little part. So I've decided that I'm not really going to say that much anymore because I really don't like it. It's just so annoying, and trying to find a new way to say it every time is really boring. So instead I think I'm going to end my videos with whatever song has been stuck in my head recently. Today's has been You Make Me Feel Like a Star by the Bow Sisters. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, sorry. And I was actually listening to that one all day 2 days ago as I walked down the halls of the school, just because it made me feel so much better and happier. That's pretty much all I have to say for now. I might make another How to Survive College video in the future if I come up with more tips. But for now, I will see you later, dreamers!